For most of Earth's history, extinction meant something final. When a species disappeared, it vanished from the planet forever. No second chance, no return. Entire creatures that once walked the Earth, giants that shaped ecosystems and ruled their environments, were erased by time, climate, or catastrophe. But what if one of those giants could return? Thousands of years ago, during the last ice age, vast herds of woolly mammoths roamed the frozen grasslands of the northern hemisphere. These enormous animals were relatives of modern elephants, but perfectly adapted to a world of ice. Thick fur protected them from brutal cold. Layers of fat insulated their bodies against freezing winds. Their massive curved tusks helped them dig through deep snow to reach buried grass. For thousands of years they dominated the cold plains of Earth. Then, slowly, they disappeared. Climate change reshaped their habitat. Human hunters spread across their territory. Over time, the great herds faded away until only silence remained. For centuries, the mammoth existed only as bones and fossils buried beneath the ground. But in the frozen soil of Siberia, something extraordinary happened. Some mammoths did not simply decay. They froze. Trapped in permafrost, their bodies remained preserved for thousands of years. Skin, hair, and sometimes even soft tissue still intact. And within those frozen remains, scientists discovered something incredibly valuable: DNA. Fragments of the mammoth's genetic codes still survive inside those ancient cells. And with modern technology, scientists have been able to read large portions of that code. Because mammoths are closely related to Asian elephants, researchers believe it may be possible to edit elephant DNA, introducing mammoth genes responsible for thick fur, cold resistance, and fat storage. The result would not be a perfect Ice Age mammoth, but it could be something remarkably close: a living animal carrying the genetic traits of a creature that vanished thousands of years ago. Which raises an extraordinary question: if a mammoth can return, what else might come back? For most of Earth's history, extinction meant the end of a species forever. But today, that rule may no longer be absolute. Modern genetics has opened a door that once belonged only to science fiction. Inside every living cell lies DNA, the biological blueprint of life itself. Scientists can now read that blueprint in extraordinary detail, comparing the genomes of living animals with those of species that vanished long ago. Some researchers can even edit DNA, replacing or inserting genes with remarkable precision. And when fragments of genetic material survive in fossils, bones, or frozen remains, a strange possibility appears. If the blueprint of an extinct creature can be reconstructed, could life itself be rebuilt from it? To explore that possibility, scientists have begun studying several famous extinct animals. One of them is the dire wolf. Unlike modern wolves, dire wolves were larger, heavier, and built for power rather than speed. They once hunted across North America, preying on massive Ice Age animals like ancient bison and wild horses. Thousands of fossilized bones have been discovered, especially in places like the famous La Brea tar pits in California. For a long time, scientists believed dire wolves were simply oversized versions of modern gray wolves. But genetic analysis revealed something unexpected. Dire wolves were actually much more distant relatives. This discovery made the idea of resurrecting them far more complicated. Without a close modern species to serve as a genetic template, rebuilding the genome of a dire wolf becomes extremely difficult. Still, the possibility continues to fascinate scientists and the public alike. Another famous symbol of extinction is the dodo. This unusual flightless bird once lived peacefully on the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. In the absence of natural predators, it evolved in isolation, eventually losing the ability to fly. But when humans arrived in the 1600s, everything changed. Hunting, habitat destruction, and invasive animals quickly drove the species toward extinction. Within less than a century, the dodo was gone. Today, the dodo has become one of the most recognizable symbols of human-caused extinction. And that has led scientists to ask a difficult question. If humans were responsible for its disappearance, could science someday help bring it back? By studying preserved bones and fragments of DNA, researchers have begun reconstructing parts of the dodo genome and comparing it with living birds that share a common ancestor. The goal is not to recreate the exact bird that lived centuries ago. Instead, scientists hope to build the closest possible genetic version of it. Perhaps the most realistic candidate for de-extinction is the Tasmanian tiger, also known as the thylacine. Unlike the mammoth or the dodo, this predator survived until very recently. The last known thylacine died in captivity in 1936. The animal looked like a strange combination of a wolf and a tiger, with dark stripes running across its back. But despite its appearance, it was not a wolf at all. It was a marsupial, a distant relative of kangaroos and wombats. For decades, thylacines were hunted heavily because farmers believed they threatened livestock. Over time, the species disappeared from the wild. Because this extinction happened so recently, scientists have access to much better genetic material than they do for Ice Age animals. This makes the thylacine one of the most serious candidates for de-extinction research. Some research teams are already mapping its genome and comparing it with the DNA of living marsupials. But there is an important truth behind all of these projects. Scientists are not truly bringing extinct animals back from the dead. What they are creating are genetic approximations. By editing the DNA of living species and inserting traits recovered from extinct ones, they may be able to produce animals that resemble their ancient relatives. A mammoth-like elephant, a dodo-like bird, a thylacine-like predator, creatures that carry pieces of the past but are born in the present. And that leads to a deeper question. Even if we can do this, should we? Every species exists as part of a delicate ecosystem. Animals interact with plants, climate, predators, and countless other forms of life. Reintroducing a long-lost species could produce consequences that scientists cannot fully predict. Yet de-extinction also represents something extraordinary. For the first time in history, humanity may possess the ability to challenge one of nature's oldest rules. For millions of years, extinction marked the final chapter in the story of a species. But if science continues to advance, that chapter may no longer be permanent. And someday, when we look at the skeleton of an extinct creature in a museum, we may have to ask a different question. Not whether that species is gone forever, but whether it might walk the earth again.